Hi, comic book fans, and welcome to a suddenlycomics.com video. It's the Monday night, and I'm back from traveling, so we are almost live. Um, this is recorded a day or so before this goes out, and so that we are looking at the live data from the previous week's sales of Silver Age comics at Heritage that Allan goes and curates for us. So I'm
Mhm.
delighted to say I've come back and he has not curated any arachnids for me. So,
Mhm.
um, hi Alan, how are you? Well, I know
Good.
Alan has
A little bit sore.
been at death's door for the last week. So, what am I doing? I'm sharing. I'm thinking about Alan at being at death's door. Share screen.
Mhm.
Right. Oh, there we go. We've got a Flintstones.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun one.
Now,
Um,
a month or so ago, we had a Flintstones on Alan's half of the show, and I was
yes.
complaining that he got all the interesting comics, and it was a record because it had Bam Bam on it.
Mhm.
And Alan promised me that the next Flintstones that came up, he'd give to me. So here we are. He's good to his word.
Yeah, and this is actually a big Flintstones one. This is the first appearance of the Flintstones.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Oh,
Oh, it's not. It's not. Ah, and it isn't actually the Flintstones. It's Del Giant number 48.
yeah.
Oh, yes, you're right. The first appearance of Flintstones in comics. Wow.
And this one I think is a bit cheap. I have a lower grade copy of it. I remember, like, I didn't pay much at that time, but after I bought my copy, it spiked in value. So I was quite happy. But this seems very affordable for a 7.0.
Wow.
I think 7.0 is really high grade for this book. Like,
Yeah. Uh,
there's a lot of issues with these Dell Giants where, it's a bit of a square bound book.
yeah.
So you get that weird spine splitting, right? And then it's a kid's book. It's like it's gonna get trashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, okay. Let's have a look at this. First Flintstones in comics. Um, oh, and it's down in put down.
I
Uh,
told you I knew that this had a big sale, like lower grades were selling for more than that.
so there's not a lot of these. But in February this year, this sold seven O's sold for 973.
So it's
And
half.
it's half.
So
So
I think this
somebody
is
got
just
a
a
deal here.
steal. I think this was just a steal. I don't think it's like, oh, the market's crashing on this
No, no,
book.
I
I think
agree.
it's just,
It's another heritage. It's another heritage one where nobody was no, but there was only one person interested in it,
yeah, and
and he
it
got it
just
cheap.
got it really cheap. I mean, that is a steal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the trend line, it's like, it's not that many sales, but it's consistently up is the
How
point.
many of these are there, Alan?
I don't think many, like a couple hundred.
Oh, 147.
Yeah. It's a as I said, it's a fairly rare book. Even in low grade, it's worth getting graded.
Definitely.
Uh, um, and if
What
that
do you think
low,
the highest grade is going to be, Alan?
like a nine something,
Oh, there's a 9.8.
9.8. Wow, that's probably a file copy
That's
though.
four 9.8s.
Yeah, that's like Dell actually was pretty good about having file copies of all their books. So yeah, those are probably all file copies.
Somebody got a bargain here for that 450. Yeah, as you can see, most of the ones that are around are high grade because it's not really worth
What
grading.
does it say the FMV is?
It says the FMV is 700, and that's taking into account the low.
Yeah, that drop. Yeah, yeah. I don't think you could pick this up. Like, I mean, as I said, this person just got a steal. I don't think you could just look for it on eBay for that price. I don't
Well,
think
if
it's.
you look at it on eBay, you'll probably find it's about 8 or 900, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too. Maybe even more.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, just a cool book. Sadly, it didn't do that well this week, but you never know. I
if somebody's got a bargain, right?
Yeah,
Oh, we've got a romance comic. Well, excellent. We've got Flintstones
yeah.
followed by a romance comic.
This
Uh,
I thought this was a cute romance one. Got a nice, good girl
well,
on it.
you liked it because there's a girl in a red bikini, a red dress.
A red dress, sort of. Red swimsuit. But what is it? What is she
Dress. I mean,
saying?
she's in an artist studio. I don't think it's not a bikini because it's one piece.
Yeah, yeah.
One
A
piece.
swimsuit. Swimsuit.
Yeah.
These romance ones are interesting because they got away with a lot of stuff on the romance books. Like, according to the code, you're not allowed to show infidelity, and you're not allowed to show like anything where it's not like marriage related relationships, like where it's like 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 you could show things like Archie style where it's like
Yeah, yeah,
high school
yeah, yeah.
romances, but this is kind of an example of like I think there's like some weird love triangle or something going on. um
That guy looks very Kirby-like. Is this Kirby?
I don't know, I think it's Coletta, but you can check. It'll say at the top. Yeah, Vince
I
Coletta.
don't know. Vince Coletta, Jack Kirby, and
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
cover. Kirby has done the guy, and Coletta has done the women. I think.
Yeah, probably. He just wears his hat though.
I know
He
he
doesn't,
is, but he had to take his Kirby hat off.
but he has the pipe, so that's okay.
As a
Um, yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can
Yeah,
see that that's a Kirby guy.
the girls don't look Kirby at
Yeah,
all.
they look
I
like
think
Coletta.
I think
Yeah,
Coletta's done the girls and Kirby's done the background here.
yeah. He likes his little people too.
He does.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I thought this was an interesting one.
Very
It
nice.
just shows you romance books. I mean, these used to be dirt cheap.
Oh no,
These
they're not
romance
anymore.
ones. Not anymore. Not anymore. And this is a Silver Age one too. The Golden Age ones are just loopy in terms of the prices they go for, but still, this is a pretty expensive book for a Silver Age romance. Early Silver Age though, it's a 10 center. Um,
Yeah, it's very early, 1960, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a cool one.
And it's a very clean copy as well. It's a nice.
Oh, beautiful copy. I mean, again, you don't see these in high grade. Like this is considered super high grade for this book because
Yeah.
like girls were especially bad to their comics, and these were sold to little girls.
Well, this is the only one of these.
On sale, yeah.
Let's have a look
So
at
a new record.
it's well, yes. Let's have a look at the total. There's only four of these graded, Alan.
Wow. Let's see what the highest grade is. An
The
8.0.
highest graded one is an 8.0.
Yeah. As I said, like they you don't see them in high grade. So an
Mhm.
8.0 is considered super high grade.
Do you think there's only four of these because nobody's bothered getting them graded? But they are worth grading now.
I would say they're worth grading. But
Especially this Kirby. You've got Kirby on the cover.
yeah, I think most people just didn't bother getting them graded. There would be copies out there, but they're fairly rare.
Yeah.
Um, and usually if you do find them, they're just beat. The covers are falling off. They're like pieces missing. It's they're,
If you took another comic from that stable in 1960, I don't know, Tales of Suspense or something from 1960, and you
Mhm.
take this one, what do you think the print run of this is compared to Tales of Suspense or Secrets, some
I mean it's going to be less. It's going to be obviously less, but I think they still have reasonable print runs because these would be targeting girls, and
yeah,
girls did read comics at that time. Um, I would say maybe a third.
yeah, because they're definitely rarer. When I look at the romance comics, there's just fewer of them.
Yeah, but I think it's more about the people that were, you know, if you give a comic to a boy and they see the collectability of it, they're going to protect it. A
Yeah.
girl doesn't see the collectability of it, and the boys don't see the collectability of it either. So there was nobody really trying to save these comics from just being read and thrown away.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so I think there's a bit more of that where there's a lot that didn't survive. Um, so yeah, I think I think they're cool. I've been picking up more and more romance books lately. I prefer the Golden Age romance, but these ones are quite nice too. I actually, think this is a pretty cool comic.
like it, like it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to the next one. We've had this one quite a few times, Alan. This is our old
Yeah, I love this
friend.
book.
Well, he's not Mr. Freeze here, is he?
He's Mr. Zero.
He's Mr. Zero, Sub-Zero, is he, or something like
No,
that?
just Zero. Just
Just
Zero.
Zero. Who becomes Freeze later on, doesn't he? Gets renamed.
Yeah.
It's a
Renamed.
rebranding. Origin of first appearance of Mr. Zero, later becomes Mr. Freeze. Full page ad for Flash 105. Not quite sure why that's so significant. Um,
105, it says?
yeah.
Well, that's first Flash.
Oh, well, there we go.
The first Silver Age
First
Flash type.
Silver Age Flash. There we go. Yeah.
So yeah, so this book, this is like I always like Mr. Freeze. Awesome character. Especially after the Batman Adventures series. They really made him awesome. Um this is 1959 too.
Yeah.
This is very early Silver Age.
Very early.
And he's on the cover. You get him, I love when they show their powers on the cover. I just think
Yeah.
that's cool. Um, yeah, just a great book.
Okay. Right. Haven't got it.
So I don't think it did that well.
Right. 1,800 for 3.5. It is a pretty major.
So yeah, I remember 2.0 going for around 1100.
Okay.
So this is maybe in line with that, but that's a 4-year-old thought. That was like 4 years ago. So I think this one should be down. I would,
It's down a bit. Yeah. It's
yeah,
down since the last sale anyway. It did sell for 2.6 in
yeah,
August.
that's more what I would have
Yeah.
thought.
Well, so that August it sold and pretty much on trend line.
Yeah, this is just a
2.6.
steal.
And then another deal this week, Alan, another heritage deal.
So I'm wondering if this week is a little bit down overall because the attention at Heritage might be a little bit low. Just this week because on Comic Connect they had a massive sale. There was some Hollywood celebrity who basically sold his collection. He had all the Grails. So maybe when there's
Yeah,
something
that's
big
maybe what
going.
took everybody's money and took all the audience away. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
good.
people are not focused. So that's
So
actually a thing that you can look for. Look for some big auction that's going on, and either buy the day after that other auction completes, or buy from a different house when that auction
that's a
is
good
going on.
tip. I think you're probably spot on here because this is the third or fourth one we've had where this week's sale
It's
looks
a bit of a steal. Yeah,
looks odd. Um, yeah, I reckon you could have hit the nail on the head there, Alan.
yeah. I was trying to figure out why. I mean, there's no reason for why this would be down, right?
No, I mean, look, this is on a steady. Look at that trend. Have you seen a better trend?
Very steady trend.
That's made no sense. It's off trend. It's going to come back. So I just think this is a good week to have bought at Heritage. Everybody's eyes wasn't on the ball.
Yeah. What's the census count like on
The
this one?
census count on this one is 1,000.
Okay, it's actually a fairly high census
It is
for
for
DC,
DC. Yeah.
and actually for when it is too, 1959. I
Yeah,
mean,
because you would have got this graded. This
oh
is,
yeah,
if you've got this in your collection, you probably grade it.
yeah, it's okay, interesting.
Right. Now then, we have got a Fantastic Four. First,
Purple Label.
first Doom with purple thing, meaning it's restored.
Hmm.
Let's have a look at it. It's a nice looking copy, Alan. Look at that.
Well, they probably did a whole bunch of things to it.
Look at that. That is
It's a
really clean.
beautiful copy. Yeah.
If that wasn't restored, that looks, I mean, there's a bit of spine damage. And this would have been a 6.5, 7.0 if that hadn't
Um,
been restored. Um, restoration includes small amounts of color touch on cover. What a shame.
So yeah, I mean a beautiful copy. Yeah,
Why
it's
is it only
interesting.
a 4.5, Alan?
I don't know. They sometimes they can grade things harshly for no apparent reason. I don't know.
That's
We
not a.
don't know what the back looks like. Maybe the back is just mangled or something. I don't know. I mean, the front looks beautiful.
Oh, they show the back. Hang on. Ah, this looks clean as well.
Huh.
That's crazy. Why have they given that a 4.5? Makes no sense.
I mean, it's one of those ones where you'd say, okay, could I resubmit this and get a higher grade?
What?
Probably could.
No way. I
It
mean, this
looks
staple up
maybe
there.
maybe that staple's popped. If that's the case, they could lower the grade.
Yeah, but
You know, that's what it looks like. It looks like a staple pop.
yeah, you'd want to read the
Because like
notes.
the top staple looks fine, but the bottom staple looks a bit iffy. But it looks perfect to me.
I mean, it's got
Nothing
purple
really.
label for the restoration, but they're meant to grade it. They're not meant to downgrade it for the restoration, are they? It's just meant to grade it.
No, no, they wouldn't downgrade it because of the restoration, but they would. If there is a staple pop, this might be the highest you could get with a staple pop or, some kind of like detached cover or something like a semi-detached cover,
Well,
right?
I think somebody's got an absolutely great looking Fantastic Four here for what I guess is going to be a pretty decent price.
I think that's a really decent price. It seems actually kind of cheap. Now,
It,
I always like to
no,
compare.
it's a record.
It's a record, wow. But when did it last sale?
Last sold in 2019.
Yeah, so right before COVID.
Yeah.
So this is one I love these kind of examples where you can see, oh, what would have it done if it didn't go through the weird COVID spike or you know what I mean? This is kind of just showing how it would have stayed on that nice little trend line. How does this compare to the blue label?
Right. Blue label 4.5. By the way, there are
Two thousand.
270 restored and 2,400 all in, and the unrestored.
It's actually not that many compared to most marble keys. Unrestored goes for like 16,000 or something crazy.
Oh, look at this. It's the last one sold for 6.9. So oh yeah, it's only a couple of thousand different.
Yeah, strange. Usually at this grade, it's about half, you know,
Yeah.
what the difference in price. But you can see like this one had like, again, if you could remove that COVID spike, this
It's done
again
about
would
the
have been,
same because it is the
yeah,
pre-COVID. So if you take
yeah,
the spike out, that's on the same trend line as the
same trend line as the restored.
yeah,
That's why, like, I always see restored copies. Like I've been a big advocate for
yeah.
restored books, um, as like a safe investment because it follows the same trend line generally. Um, so yeah, interesting.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that was a big one. We got two more to do.
And wait, I've got one.
Oh no, it's the last one. This is the last one. This is the big one.
Showcase 4. We've seen this quite a few times. Big comic, hard to find.
Yeah. This was the biggest sale in the Silver Age this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
There was actually no AF-15s. There was no Spider-Man ones. There was none of the ones that you normally see. I think there was an X-Men one, but it didn't sell for as much. Like it didn't sell very high. This was the big book of the week.
Yeah,
Remember,
but I think a lot of people there was this which site was running a big summer
it
sale,
was Comic Connect.
Comic Link, and also
Comic
you remember we've also just come off the big heritage showcase.
Prime, yeah, whatever it's called, yeah, the Prime auction.
So and I see that Fantastic Four, which we were looking at. Was it Fantastic Four one in a 675 or something?
Yeah, going for like $1 million or
It went
something
for two,
crazy.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we were discussing whether it was going to hit the 1.5 million.
Oh yes. And I think it was already at that when we were looking at it or something
Was it?
crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's have a look at this showcase. Again, a nice looking copy.
This one's maybe a little bit more some issues than the previous one.
Yeah, well,
You look at
exactly.
that
So
corner,
this you can see why it's a 4.0.
yeah.
We've got
But the other one,
creasing
no, I
down
couldn't see
here.
it.
We've got a staple
And
where
then the corners got that
the
issues.
corners of where's that 4.5 that we looked at a second ago?
Very nice. Yeah. Somebody, I think they should just crack it and resubmit it for a
I
higher
would.
grade.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the extension? What's how extensive is the restoration
That
on this one?
restoration includes small amounts of glue on cover. It's from the Christine Farrell Complete DC collection. Well, it's not complete anymore because she sold a Showcase 4.
Yeah. So that was actually a very interesting collection. The DC collection is somebody literally had the complete collection of DC books from the beginning of DC all the way up to 2012.
Really? How many
Yeah,
books?
yeah, it's crazy. And actually, you could have picked it up for a fairly reasonable price. I think a reasonable price if I had the money. It was like $10 million
For the whole collection?
for the whole collection. Now, if you think about it, there's a bunch of big books in that would
Well, sorry, when
easily
you say that every DC comic, so we're
every
talking
DC comic.
that's a ridiculously low price.
That's my point. Like, that's like wow. I mean, a lot of, there would be a lot of cheap books in there, but I could think of about 10 books that
Yeah,
would
you
just,
probably need a warehouse to store them, but
yeah, I think it was like over 10,000 books in the collection or something. It was a huge collection.
right, okay. Well, this one was in it, restored. You'd think if somebody was getting every DC comic ever, they'd been buying them since the beginning of DC and just went to the newsstand and said, "Give me all the DC comics."
Maybe, I don't know what they did, but something probably to that effect.
Anyway, this sold for 13,200.
And a
Alan thinks
4.0
this.
restored.
Alan thinks this is low.
I would say it's low. But
It's about right, isn't it?
yeah, restored books, yeah, get kind of brutalized.
It's actually a record in terms of price.
Okay,
So that one's been if you take the non-inflated price, this is a record.
okay, interesting. Um, Again, so how does this compare to the blue label?
Well, let's see how many there are first. So there's only 611. We've mentioned this before. This is a rare comic to find in any grade.
Yeah, it's a hard book to get.
Um, and you want to know is Universal 4.0. It's going to be at least double, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yeah, 17. No, so it's not double. We've got another one where the difference between the restored and the unrestored is quite small.
So at the lower grades, you do get it a little bit closer, maybe 60% of the value,
Well,
but
this
not
one was
that close.
13
This
out
is
of
more like this
16. It's 80%.
it's almost like 80%. Yeah, that's really really close. Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. So that's almost like giving like and as I was mentioned before, usually Heritage doesn't like restored books
No. But
in
these two
terms
have
of
gone for
like
reasonable. These two have actually gone for reasonable amounts of money, haven't they?
yeah, it's almost like people are beginning to respect
Perhaps
the.
you're influencing the comic market again, Alan.
I hope so. So yeah, but that's really interesting. I just yeah, I'm actually shocked actually. As I said, usually about 50, maybe 60% on the high end for this for mid-grade books. It's when you get to the really low grade, like a point 0.5, nobody cares about restoration. They're almost like the same price. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't really cares. I mean, if you're
But
buying a point five, it's just to have
but in
a
the
comic.
mid grades, it does matter. I'm just surprised that it went for 80%. That is actually quite high.
Yeah, yeah.
So very interesting. Um, I always thought this was a more expensive book. I have this in a 2.0. I got it for I think I paid I think I paid 8,000 Canadian. So whatever that works out to being, that's like 5,600 US
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
2. So I got a good deal on it. They mispriced it. They didn't do the conversion right from Canadian to US
Oh, I think
or
you've told me
US to
this
Canadian.
story before. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll go with it. I think I got it for less than what they paid. Guess they messed it up. I wasn't going to argue it though. And then they gave me a 10% discount on top of that. So it was quite nice. So yeah, I like that book.
Right. Oh, yes, I actually sold some comics to Canada yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, and I got your comic, by the way.
Oh, you got it.
I
You got
wanted to
it.
say I didn't have a chance to tell you. I got it like a while ago, but
Oh, right. Okay. I think I did think before we went off on holiday, has he got the comic yet?
yeah,
Good. Yeah.
yeah. So,
So I actually sold. So I was on Whatnot last night, and a guy bought a couple of my L. Miller Captain
oh, okay,
Marvel reprints, and I thought, oh, that's somebody with some taste.
okay.
When I printed out the labels, he's in Canada.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I sent him a message. I said, these are very, very rare comics, even in the UK. I said, I suspect you now have the only two copies of these in the whole of Canada.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
yeah,
I mean, how many would make it overseas? I
ah,
doubt
very
many.
low print run anyway, and these were in quite good grade. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, no,
Were these duplicates for you, or were they?
yeah, they were duplicates. So as them as me there saying these are very, very rare, but I've got two. Yeah, they were both duplicates. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think you would sell your. Yeah. So
no,
that, yeah, I mean that's a really cool thing to collect. I think those L. Miller and Sons, and that's right, the name, right? L.
yeah,
Miller and
yeah.
Sons. And the other one,
Alan Crawl.
the class
Yeah.
ones. Those are really interesting. I think, over time, like once people kind of learn about them and the coolness factor, I actually like the class ones because they are wider.
Yeah, they are. You get more of the art, and
You
they
get,
actually the art is wider. So the
yeah,
artists were drawing on Golden Age size boards during the Silver Age. So you
you
actually
get
get
a little extra art, which
yeah,
was not on the original, which I think is interesting. It's like almost like a hidden piece of history being revealed.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
quite cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the list this week. Did you or
Yeah, no, I like this week's list. Yeah, my type of stuff, like the Black Magic, because I'm collecting that. And I liked the Flintstones. Yeah, so great list this week. We'll be back next week with Alan, hopefully, as long as his brain holds out.
I hope so.
He's fairly tough. He did lots of martial arts, so he's probably got sort of specially strong skull or something. So that's your lot. See you again next week. Cheers, Alan.
Bye.